I think we all know why M. Night Shyamalan's name did not appear anywhere on the posters that were promoting this film. We all know why, guys. 2010, we know. What's up, guys? It's all about Mike 18 here with another movie review. Guys, it is getting really hot out. Temperatures are rising. It's the perfect time to go sit in an AC-filled theater, relax with some snacks, and enjoy an exciting and entertaining movie for about 2 hours of your time. And it's that time of the year to do so. It's also the time of the year to see M. Night Shyamalan's newest film starring Will and Jaden Smith, and that is After Earth. Yes, guys, that's right. I did say it. M. Night Shyamalan actually made another film, and I was looking forward to seeing this movie in a way because I wanted to see if M. Night Shyamalan could redeem himself after the atrocity that was The Last Airbender. I'd also, the trailers look cool. I was kind of looking forward to the movie because of the cool-looking trailers, and after the reviews came in, I'm like, oh boy. Horrible reviews for the movie, as some expected. But anyway, guys, getting back to Shyamalan, I never really despised the guy. There was no part of me that ever said, I just hate you, Shyamalan. I hate your guts. Your movies are all terrible. No part of me ever said that. I never incredibly hated him. There are a lot of Shyamalan films that I did like, and there are just some that I just hated. For example, his best film is easily The Sixth Sense. I love that movie. I praised him for that movie. That was a great film, really good ending. Then there was Unbreakable I didn't see. Signs I did see when I was younger. I don't even remember it, to be honest. I saw it when I was a lot younger, so I can't even talk about it. Now, say what you want about The Village. I thought it was decent. I liked it overall. It had a few slow scenes, but it was, I liked the ending. That was a great ending. Lady in the Water was a waste of your money, summer flop that was awful. I did not see that happening, even though I heard it was awful. And The Last Airbender, apart from the action and visuals, that movie was a disgrace, and the acting was one of the biggest atrocities to cinema ever. The acting was so bad in that movie. Anyway, let's not talk about his other films. I just wanted to quickly mention that. But I want to know if Shyamalan could redeem himself with his newest film, After Earth. I'll answer that a little bit later on, guys. Right now, let's get into the plot behind After Earth. First thing, guys, that I am going to get into with After Earth is, of course, the story. Now, After Earth is set in the future. It's a sci-fi film set in the future, and one of the main storylines is that Earth has been abandoned yet again. Yes, Earth, I mean, we've seen that a dozen times before. I mean, it gets kind of old maybe, but yeah, Earth has been abandoned, and it's now inhabitable, and there was a reason why. I really don't remember it. Frankly, I just don't care. Whatever. There were these like aliens that like showed up. They got all the animals that were already on Earth to like to what do you call it? To like they made them like kill humans or whatever. So whatever. All the humans left Earth. And Will and Jaden Smith are father and son in this movie. Will Smith is like this legendary like warrior, like he's a strong fighter, and Jaden Smith is this he's his son. He's like in training. So they go on this mission together. They go on the ship. The ship crash lands on Earth, of course. They're the only two survivors of the crash. And at that point, I said, no. Will Smith would have died. Jaden Smith would have lived though, because he had like a seatbelt on or whatever. Will Smith would have been killed instantly. That was no. I did not buy that. But anyway. In the aftermath, Will Smith has broken both of his legs, and they're both stuck on Earth, and they will eventually die if they don't get help. They need to get someone to come rescue them. The only way to get someone to come save them is to use a beacon to send like a message into space or whatever, like a beam of light, and that will signal help. And of course, that very beacon that they need to use to get help has landed some 100 miles away from where Will Smith and Jaden Smith are currently where they landed. So since Will Smith is injured and Jaden Smith is the only other one alive, he is the only one who can get to the beacon. So Jaden Smith sets out on an adventure facing dangerous cold temperatures and the forest, the evils of the forest, and these animals that basically want to rip his face off. He's got to set out, he's got to get this beacon to save him and his dad, and Will Smith is meanwhile back at the crash site guiding him through the forest and guiding him away from the animals and warning him and everything like that. So that's this premise behind After Earth, guys. And when I just explained it, you guys are going to say, well, you should say that's actually pretty entertaining. And it was. The overall premise I thought was kind of exciting, and it sounded pretty interesting to me. I'm like, yeah, I want to go see this movie now. I like that overall premise. So, yeah, the overall premise I liked. I thought it was kind of original, apart from the abandoned Earth setting, which we've seen before, especially in Oblivion most recently. And I definitely wanted to see the movie for that reason. I thought it looked great for the premise. And that's basically all I'm going to get into for the story right now, guys. I'll get into more a little bit later on. Now, right now, I'm going to get into the performances. Will and Jaden Smith, of course, you got to talk about how good they were in the movie. Now, Will Smith and Jaden Smith, I like both of them. Of course, I love Will Smith. I'm a big Will Smith fan. I loved him. My favorite Will Smith movie is by far The Pursuit of Happiness. I love his other movies as well, but The Pursuit of Happiness just blew me away. That movie, he was robbed for Best Actor for that movie, and that film was robbed for a nomination at least for Best Picture that year at the Academy Awards. Anyway, moving on. Love Will Smith, great actor, and how was he in this? Of course, gave a great performance. Didn't worry me that Will Smith was going to be bad. I knew he was great. Gave a decent performance overall. Loved his other work, though, but he was good in this. Two things that bother me with Will Smith's character. Number one, the accent that we had seen in the trailer, heard in the trailer. Will Smith has it in this movie. It bothers me. It still bothers me. I don't like it. No, it's not Will Smith. Don't give Will Smith an accent. Please, that is just not right. Anyway, guys, moving on. The other thing I did not like about Will Smith in this movie, and this wasn't his fault, it was his character. Since his legs were both broken, he could not get involved in the task that Jaden Smith was trying to accomplish. He couldn't get involved in it, and he's kind of underused in it. And that kind of sucks because we're used to seeing Will Smith in a leading role. He's in this movie where he has more of a minor role, and you want to see him more involved, and he's not. So he's kind of underused. That bothered me a little bit. Anyway, guys, still great performance, and it's Will Smith. You gotta love the guy. Anyway, moving on to Jaden Smith. He was great in The Pursuit of Happiness as the young son. He was a young kid in that movie. He gave a really good first performance. And in The Karate Kid, I thought he gave a good first performance in his first leading role, really. And I like that movie. And how is he in After Earth? To be honest, his acting, you know what, guys, it kind of needed work. I'm not going to lie. Not the best acting from Jaden Smith. He was better in his other two films, I'm not going to lie. Don't get me wrong. Some scenes he was great. He was like on and off. One scene was great. One scene the acting felt bad. Great, bad, great, bad. And that's how it was with him. So it was kind of like that, which was kind of unfortunate. But Will Smith, acting could have been a little bit better. Anyway, other thing with Jaden Smith's character, he's really the main character in the movie, and that's great. He's carrying the movie. That was fine. I didn't mind that at all, really. And the other problem, the biggest problem I had with Jaden Smith's character wasn't really the acting. It was the voice. Now, we all know Jaden Smith. He has his young, he had not yet hit puberty in The Karate Kid. That was the last film I saw him in, actually. He has hit puberty in this. His voice is obviously going to be different. That's fine. You just got to get used to that. But he has his new voice, and he's also talking in that accent that Will Smith has. And, like, no! Every single time Jaden Smith says something in this movie, I'm like, who is that? It didn't feel right. It felt so weird. And, frankly, why did they make them talk like that? I still can't get over that. But anyway, guys, overall, decent performance from Jaden Smith. Could have been better, but Will Smith was good, as always. Anyway, guys, moving on. This movie is rated PG-13. Parents, there's really nothing too horrible with the rating. There's some violence in there is a good amount of violence in the movie. Animals do get killed. There's a lot of blood and there's there's fighting. But be aware of that. However, I still think it's a movie to take your kids to see. I think they'd enjoy it overall, especially if they like Will Smith. They'll like the movie. A little violent though, but still, parents take their kids to go see it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be moving on to my personal rating for After Earth, guys. It's time to give my rating of the film, and I thought about it. I'm going to give After Earth a 7 out of 10. Now, I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, wow, you should have given it a lot lower. It was awful. Some of you were saying, I personally think that I gave it a decent score. Obviously, that's not too high, and that's not too low either. Getting into the reasons why I gave it a 7 out of 10, I'm going to get into the things I liked and did not like with the film. 7 out of 10. Things I liked, like I said, the premise overall I thought was entertaining. It was interesting. I thought it was kind of original, apart from the abandoned Earth setting, and I wanted to go see the movie for that premise. I thought it was cool. That was great. Story was overall good, except for a few things I'll mention with the story in a minute. Will Smith gave a great performance. Great to see him on the big screen. Jaden Smith, okay, could have been a lot better. And finally, guys, the biggest thing to enjoy about this movie is, of course, its production design. This is a beautiful film to look at, guys. Same story with Oblivion and Great Gatsby and Iron Man 3, most recent films I've seen. This is a beautiful film to look at. The visuals, all that are great with this film. Most of the shots in this movie are excellent. The cinematography is great. There are some beautiful looking shots in this movie. Really are. The great scenery, great production design, great set design, all that was great. The visuals and the special effects are really nice. The animals look cool. They're not Oscar-worthy special effects, but they're still pretty good. They're decent for this movie, and I liked them overall. Movie looked great. The score was good. And the last thing I will get into is the action. While there could have been a few more action scenes, the action that was in the movie, the fights that were in the movie, I thought they were pretty cool. I was into them overall, and I enjoyed them. So, yeah, guys, there could have been more, and there's this one scene where Jaden Smith leaps off this cliff. He has a wingsuit, like they had in Transformers Dark of the Moon, and he's flying around. He's trying to evade this vulture that's after him, and that scene was beautiful. That was the best scene in the whole entire movie. It looked beautiful. It was filmed so well, and love that scene. And I'm sure that would have looked amazing in IMAX. I did not see this movie in IMAX, though, so unfortunately there's that. But anyway, guys, moving on to the things I did not like. I already mentioned a few of them, so let's move on. Things I did not like with After Earth. There are a few. I will say this much. Like I already mentioned, Will Smith could have been in the movie, could have been involved in what was going on in the movie better. I mean, there's this whole portion of the movie where, like, 20 minutes in the movie, he's just not there at all. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This is Will Smith. He's not in the movie. What are you doing, Shyamalan? But I guess you'll get over that. Jaden Smith's acting could have been better. Was alright. And both accents bothered me. So, not happy with them. The screenplay, in a few scenes, it just felt silly. There's this one scene where Will Smith is talking to another person, a woman, and it was just so badly written, in my opinion. And there were other scenes where it was good. So, it was on and off with the screenplay, on and off with Jaden Smith's performance. So it was like that with the movie. Another thing, guys, this movie, it could have used a few more action scenes. Not gonna lie, would have liked to see a few more. And lastly, I will say this much about this movie. Two other things. They're going to contradict each other, by the way. The movie's running time, its length, is about 89 minutes. Probably even shorter than that. We don't know. I don't know. But while the movie felt boring and slow in a few scenes, I felt that the running time should have been longer. And I know that sounds weird, but here's why I'm saying that. You could have cut out half of the boring scenes that were in the movie, the dialogue scenes that did not need to be there, and you could have put in a few more beautiful looking scenes and a few more action scenes, and you would have had a better movie, in my opinion. So you could have added more action scenes and just cut out the boring dialogue that I really didn't care about, and the running time should have been a little bit longer. So there was that. And now here's the contradiction part, guys. I'm going to get into the thing I did not like with After Earth. While I said all those things I loved, it's a beautiful film to look at. The biggest flaw with After Earth is the fact that it's just kind of boring. I know people have been saying this, but you know what? It's kind of true. After Earth, there's really nothing too huge, apart from a few impressive scenes, to remember from this movie. The movie is overall boring. The first 20 minutes I was disgusted with. I just wanted to get to the scene where they were in the ship and there was the crash. I did not care whatsoever about what was going on in the first 20 minutes, first 15 minutes of the movie. Bored the hell out of me. It was so slow. And there were a few other scenes. Again, same thing with Jaden Smith's acting. It was on and off. The boring and the entertaining scenes were going on and off. There was a boring scene, there was a boring scene, there was entertaining, boring, entertaining, boring. It was like that throughout the entire movie. And in my opinion, if you would have cut out some of the boring, slow, and dull scenes, you would have had a better movie. There's a scene where Will Smith is telling the story to Jaden Smith. It was so boring, so irrelevant, didn't need to be there, and I just wanted to just say, what the hell is this? Just get rid of the scene. It's not necessary. It doesn't need to be there. So that's basically it, guys. After Earth, overall, its biggest flaws, that was boring. If it would have been a little bit more entertaining, I would have loved it a little bit more. So 7 out of 10, guys. And when you walk out of the theater, this movie isn't too hugely memorable. I've already forgotten a few things about it that I didn't explain with the premise, and that's not a good sign. I'm going to forget about this movie in a few days tops, so that's never good. It could have been better, guys. It wasn't absolutely horrible. 7 out of 10. Would I recommend you guys see it? If you're a big fan of Will Smith and Jaden Smith, then I would probably recommend you see it. If you're a huge fan of Will Smith, though, and you don't like Jaden Smith, might not recommend you see it because Will Smith is kind of underused, like I said. And overall, guys, I would just say this movie is just a rental. Apart from the beautiful scenes that I saw and that one wingsuit scene, this movie is just, it's average. This is an average film that is worthy of a Redbox rental or probably a Bargain Tuesday price. There was no huge part in this movie that is going to make me tell you guys to go see it. It was just an average film. And is it worth a buy on Blu-ray? Probably not. I wouldn't buy it on Blu-ray. If I would buy it a while from now, like 3 years from now, and I would buy it cheap. So there you have it, guys. Now, did M. Night Shyamalan redeem himself? In my opinion, did he redeem himself from The Last Airbender? Yes. This movie's a hell of a lot better than The Last Airbender, of course. There are some really good things about it. There are some bad things in the fact that it's kind of boring. So he redeemed himself from The Last Airbender. He did not redeem himself from his career, probably. He's got to make maybe 1 or 2 more better movies, and then he might redeem himself fully. So there you have it, guys. There's After Earth. Let me know anything you want to know. Talk about this movie down below in the comments. Did you like it? Did you think it was boring like I did? Did you think it needed work? Did you think that M. Night Shyamalan redeemed himself? Let me know about all of that, guys, down below in the comments. I'm curious to see what your opinions are of this film. So, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more movie reviews coming soon. Bye, guys.